Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to the series about the books in English. And we are at the book. Our teachers are superheroes, and we are at chapter 5, Not Giving Up. Next morning, the friends walked the cobbled up street to school together. All the way, they speculated over what they have seen, share theories, and debate possible clues. Freya described another item that she had seen on the news. An old lady had been trapped in a burning building, and the firefighters had not been able to reach her. They said it was a miracle that she has escaped, and they couldn't understand how she had managed it. Benji said that he had heard a noise and looked out of his bedroom window when it was dark, only to see something whiz past overhead. It had looked smaller and closer than the plane, but bigger than a bird. As they spoke, their movements became more animated, and their voices rose together until they were even beginning to talk over one another. But they became deflated when Freya reminded Benjamin that they still had no real proof that these events were connected to their teachers. Determined to gather more evidence and not willing to give up easily, the pair agreed to meet at break time in the corridor between their two classrooms. I have an idea, exclaimed Benji. When the time came and the rest of their classes were rushing past them, opening snacks or grabbing coats, I reckon there's something about that cupboard that we saw Miss Higgins appearing from. Think about it. None of us are ever allowed inside. And that's where she was when she came out wearing her cape again. An hour and a half later, Freya was watching the clock from her seat near the back of Mr. J's classroom, trying to ignore the butterflies in her stomach. She chose absent-mindedly on the end of her pencil and fiddled with a strand of hair as she watched the minutes until lunchtime disappear. Benjamin had persuaded her that they could hide in a corner of the classroom. Between the cloakroom area and the painting shirts, with the intention of skating out the store cupboard. She jumped when the bell rang for lunchtime, and after filling out with the rest of her class, she pushed her way upstream against the garbage bag reach of children and into Miss Hedges' classroom to join her friend in his hiding place. Mrs. Hitchin has been busy collecting books from tables and straightened chairs before eventually settling back down to her desk, seemingly unaware that two pupils remained tucked away in the same room. From their vantage point, the pair could just about see the edge of her desk, but also had a perfect view of the straw cupboard. It wasn't long before the skate out began to feel rather dull. Miss Higgins had taken a sandwich from the bag and had nibbled on occasional bite while she marked more books. At one point, she stood up and walked over to add some sheets to the playboard before returning to her previous task and finishing her sandwich. Everyone else has probably eaten their lunch too, and they were no doubt now enjoying freedom of playground. Meanwhile, Freya and Benji were squashed together, listening to their own stomach rumbling. The teacher's phones suddenly began to vibrate on the desk, startling Freya and Benji. She picked it up, tapped the screen, and put it to her ear. Yeah, she said briskly. She stood up and pushed back her chair and walked straight towards the cupboard. Freya ducked down behind Benji, who had pulled coffee and shirt halfway across his face, as if it would keep him hidden should Miss Higgins turn and face in their direction. Still listening to her phone, the teacher had one hand on the handle of the cupboard door to pause. Gotcha. No problem. Leave it to me. She said firmly before pocketing the phone and opening the store cupboard. She had been inside for only a few seconds when there was a knock at the classroom door, and in shuffled William, another boy from Benji's class. Miss Higgins popped her head back out of the cupboard. Yeah, oh, well, of course. I almost forgot you were coming back. I'm glad you did, but she trailed off as her eye wandered across the room and landed on the abnormally busy cloakroom area. Oh, what are you doing? What are you two doing there, down there? With, with no plausible answer springing to mind, Benji stood up, holding a silver and pink cap that clearly didn't belong to him, claiming to have found just what he was looking for. Miss Higgins laughed a little and then spoke. William here has come back for a little extra help with the maths work from this morning. Unfortunately, I have something important that I need to do right away. I'm sure these two wouldn't mind helping. William? They are both responsible, she added, and I won't be long. Knowing that they were rumbled and their chance had gone, the both nodded silently and in agreement, and all three pupils sat down at a table as Miss Higgins disappeared out of the classroom door once again. And that's all for chapter 5. Thank you very much and see you in next chapter.